Chapter 5. Crimes Against Humanity. Blood spilled by violence leaves a stain far different from blood which is shed in any other way. As Lionel stood on the tips of his toes at the kitchen sink, he was surprised by how much more difficult blood was to wash away than the dirt he was accustomed to. The dish rag had done little to clean the gore from beneath his fingernails. It had taken a fork from the drawer to scrape most of it out. As for the streaks and spatters that coated his forearms, neck, and face, they seemed to be a lost cause. Lionel had considered showering, but that would have meant removing what was left of Mrs. Reed from the bathtub. In the end, he did what he could with a wet towel and decided not to worry about the rest. Not that the mess was limited to the kitchen. Bloody tracks led from one end of the small Cape Cod to the other, and smeared fingerprints were on everything from the kitchen knives to the golf club he had discovered in the hall closet. Even the hedge clippers he had picked up in the garage were bloodied and broken. The blades had actually bent and snapped clear off from the wooden handles. The dull and rusty shears had worked just fine on the kids, but Mrs. Reed was a big woman with thick bones. And thick bones, Lionel had learned, required a hacksaw. Lionel had to make the long walk from the bathroom to the garage 3 times for new blades. The white plastic bracelet hung loosely on his wrist throughout the entire ordeal. It, too, had been stained beyond any hope of coming clean. Most of the words, however, were still legible beneath the smears of blood. Lionel liked the feel of the cool plastic against his skin. He had found the bracelet while fishing with his father. It was the only thing he had hooked all day. He felt compelled to hide it away in his pocket before his father would notice. Ever since, he had gradually set aside most of his other interests, everything from comic books to baseball cards, and instead found himself spending time alone in his room, imagining stories about Ellis Arkema and how he may have lost that bracelet in the lake. Lionel turned from the sink and decided to make one more trip through the house before leaving. He followed the trail of blood and gore from the hardwood floor in the kitchen to the orange shag carpeting that led through the living room and down the hallway. A dead body is a difficult thing for anyone to move, and at only 12, it had taken quite an effort for Lionel to drag it all the way to the bathroom.